Happy Memorial Day, and I'm here. I want to share a video today about consistency. A lot of people ask me, hey Albert, can you put something out about consistency? Like, how do you stay so consistent? And yesterday I was talking to a friend, his name is Brad. A lot of you guys know Brad Lee, and we were talking about being in shape. And as you know, he's been very healthy. He's been putting in a lot of work to get in better shape, and he's in the best shape that I've ever seen him personally, and he's getting in better shape. But he's sticking very consistently. He's being consistent with his diet, his workouts. So I asked him a question. I'm like, hey Brad, would you say I am in shape? Am I in shape? And he says, yeah, but you've always been in shape, Albert. You've always been in shape, and I haven't always been in shape. So for him, I guess it's a bigger deal to get in top-notch shape because he hasn't really been in shape his entire life. So he tells me, like, ever since I known you, you've been in shape. So this is like, what, 7 years that I've been in the same shape. I've been very consistent with being in shape. So my point is that consistency is not only about how you look. Consistency also is about everything else that you do in life. So work, are you consistent with work? Family, are you consistent with family? What you eat, the exercise. So what I do to stay very consistent is I have 4 things that I'm gonna go over right now. Okay, one is my do nots. Do nots. So these are things that I do not tolerate. My core values, my principles, and tracking. I track everything. So let me start with do nots. Okay, things that I don't tolerate are, number one, I don't like being around softies. You guys know there's people that are softies and they get their feelings hurt all the time, and you always have to continually pat them on the back, remind them how much you love them. Take napkins because they're always crying. They're always getting their feelings hurt. And you can't win in business being around soft people. Like, you just can't tolerate softies. Another thing is small thinkers. I don't like being around small thinkers. They're just, they contaminate people. Small thinkers are gonna make you think smaller because it contaminates people. When you are a big thinker, and then you're surrounded by a bunch of small thinkers just talking about all their small ideas, their small risks, their small fucking everything, it's gonna just pass on to you. So you want to stay away from those people. At least for me, I like being away from those people. And keep in mind, what I'm saying right now is I'm telling you what works for me. Okay, because just because it worked for me, maybe it's not gonna work for you, or maybe you don't agree with this. And if you don't, comment, let me know. But this is what worked for me. This is why I am where I am. So keep in mind that I'm just solely talking and speaking about what worked for me. So don't take it for granted. Maybe it won't work for you, but this is what worked for me. Another thing is, I don't like cheap asses. I don't like being around cheap asses. Same thing, it contaminates people. When you're around cheap asses, you're gonna get those habits, and you're gonna start thinking like cheap asses. I don't like being around cheap asses because they mess me up right here. I like being around people that throw their card out. Okay, one time I was eating with Brad again, and we were having dinner when I just met him, and I give him my credit card, and I tell him, hey, you wanna split it? And he looks at me like, what do you mean split? I don't split bills. And ever since then, I've never split any bills. This is like 6 years. I never split any bills. So you either pay or the other person pays. You don't split bills. When you hang around cheap asses, everybody puts their card. Oh, well, I only got this. I didn't drink, so I'm gonna pay less. Oh, and they forget taxes. And everybody's like throwing in their card and counting pennies, counting cents. Everybody's paying their portion of the tip. Some people don't know about tip. They don't know how to pay tip. Some people don't pay tip. It's a disaster. When you're around all these people that are cheap asses, that's gonna happen. You're gonna grow like that, and that's what happened to me. I was around people that split bills, and that's what I thought was right. But then I came across a rich friend, and he's like, we don't do that here. You know, we don't split bills. So another thing is, you don't want to be around entitled people. There's a lot of entitled people out there, and they think, oh, because I was first, I have to get this, I should be getting this, I was here in the beginning, I deserve this, oh well, I should do this. And it's not, it doesn't work like that. Like, you can't be around entitled people, or else your business is never going to grow. No entitlement. So stay away from those people. Another thing is downgrade. We don't downgrade. The Preciados, TMG, Ambiance, Driven, we do not downgrade. It's always about upgrading. You never downgrade. You're never gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna downgrade my car. I'm gonna downgrade my watch. I'm gonna downgrade my house. I'm gonna downgrade my office. I'm gonna downgrade my staff. No, we don't downgrade. We upgrade. We're not scared of spending money, because we know that we're secure enough that we're gonna make money tomorrow. We're gonna make money next week. We're gonna make money next month. People that downgrade are people that are insecure about their ability to make money tomorrow. So we are not insecure about making money. We are very secure about making money. Now, tracking. You gotta track everything in your business and in life. Tracking. When you do all this stuff, this is gonna allow you to stay very consistent. You're never gonna lose your consistency, which means you're never gonna lose your momentum. Tracking. Make sure you track everything. You gotta track your revenue every day, every quarter, every month, every year. Track your revenue. Your revenue is supposed to be going up, not staying the same. Okay, agents, if you have sales agents, track their production. You got to track every agent's production, because some agents are going to be number 1, number 2, number 3 in the beginning of the year, some for 6 months, some for a year, and then they're going to fall off. They're going to disappear. They're going to end up going to a different company. They're going to end up getting fired because they're unethical. They're going to end up messing up. They're going to get into a bad relationship. Maybe the girlfriend or the boyfriend is going to mess up their momentum, and they're going to start making bad choices. And when you're around a toxic relationship, like if you have a toxic girlfriend or a toxic boyfriend or whatever, they're going to mess up your whole career, and you might not be able to recover from that. You might start burning bridges, making bad decisions. So be very careful who you're going out with. Who is that person next to you? Now, cost for transaction. A lot of people don't realize this. You're like, wait. And ever since I started doing that, hey, let me figure out what's the cost of transaction. Because, when you have a company and you're paying people you're paying people splits. So you're making a profit. Let's just say you're making 20, 30, 40, 50% of each transaction. You got to think about, like, hey, wait, what is the cost of this transaction? If I am paying $100,000 a month for an office and I'm only making like X amount, this little tiny bit from each transaction from this person or that person, it maybe doesn't make sense. So these people either have to contribute to the company's success and health, or it's not going to work out. You got to know the cost of the transaction. A lot of people think, hey, you know what? Office is free, expenses are free, employees are free. It's not free. So you gotta know the cost per transaction to see, hey, is this making sense business-wise or is it not? Conversion rates. Some people are gonna convert better, some people are gonna convert not as good, and some people are not gonna convert at all. Business, same thing. Are your ads working? Are they not? You gotta check the conversion rate. Now, I track everything. These are things in business and in personal life. I track what I eat, what I drink. That's why, like, hey, you know what? It's Memorial Day, but I'm not gonna drink. I'm not gonna skip my workout again. I skipped my workout yesterday. I'm not gonna do that today. Because why? Because I track everything. I know that I gotta make sure that I work out at least 6 times per week. And as long as I do that, I know I'm gonna stay in the same shape. I might even make improvements, but I'm not gonna go fall behind or get worse. Now, principles in business and life are really important. Every time I broke a principle, it came back and bit me in the ass. And let me explain what I mean by that. I have a principle. One of my principles, my favorite one is, you leave me once, you leave me forever. When somebody leaves me, my life, my business, they can't come back. And I stuck to this principle for the longest. And the couple of times that I broke this principle, guess what happened? Came back, bit me in the ass. So as of now and moving forward, we don't take people back. You leave once, you leave forever. And that is the same in life and in business. When people do something and where for some reason it doesn't work out, It's not going to work out. Stop giving it a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, because it's not going to work out. A cheater one time is a cheater forever. Somebody that lies is going to lie forever. So you don't take people back. Another principle is my golden hours. 4 to 8 a.m. are the times when I do self-improvement, when I work on my life, when I work on my business, not in. After 8, 9 a.m., you're going to start working in your life, in your business, because everybody wakes up and everybody is, bugging you. Look, it's Memorial Day and it's empty. There's no cars out. Everybody's relaxing, maybe having micheladas, recovering from the cruda. If you guys don't know what I meant, is people are recovering from the hangover. Maybe having those drinks that make you feel better. Now, 5 hours of self-improvement, another principle that I do. Every day I do self-improvement for 5 hours. What is self-improvement? Working out is self-improvement. Cardio is self-improvement. Reading a book is self-improvement. Anything that makes you better is self-improvement. 5 hours a day you have to spend on self-improvement. And the good thing is that while you do self-improvement, you can also do sometimes other things. When I do my cardio for 35 minutes, I'm answering all my messages. Okay, another principle is 20%ers. Only spend time with 20%ers. What's 20%ers? There's an 80-20 rule. So 20% of your sales agents, 20% of your staff employees are going to provide you 80% of the results. So when you spend all your time with the 20%ers, you're going to have guaranteed success. Your company is going to be guaranteed growing because you're going to be spending time with those 20%ers that provide 80% of the revenue. Worst mistake I made is I was spending time with everybody, giving everybody time. And the 80%ers only contribute to 20% of your company's success. So I was losing people that were 20%ers because I was spending time with 80%ers and it didn't work out. And I told Sil, hey, you know what? You can't keep everybody happy. People are going to come and go, but you want to keep those 20%ers. How do you do that? You spend all your time with the 20%ers. If people want to get your time, then they have to grow and move to the 20%er bracket. So if they want your time, they move up. Everybody gets the same opportunity. Now, you do spend time with the 80%ers, but you do that when you have trainings, when you have Zoom trainings, when you have in-person trainings for everybody. And guess what? Those 80%ers, they don't show up. That's why they stay to 80%ers, because they don't value their time. They value other things. They'd rather be, partying Memorial Day. They'd rather be partying New Year's. They'd rather be partying all these holidays instead of learning, instead of getting better. They'd rather do other things instead of coming to the trainings and where everybody comes. And then they move up to 20%ers. So that's why this principle for business works really, really, really good. Now, another thing that I do is I always get the best ticket. So always get the best ticket, always stay in the best places, always fly first class. If you could afford private, fly private, but always be in the best place, get the best ticket. Why? Because when you get the best ticket, you're going to be around people that are successful. When you get the cheapest ticket, you're going to be sitting with all the negative people that are going to be talking shit about everything. Now, to end this, core values. Core values keep it very consistent for me. Why? Because core values are going to make it easy to make all the decisions. Now, when I allow somebody in my life, I make sure that the core values match mine. What are my core values? You got to be all in. You got to be ethical. You got to have extreme work ethic. You have to have the right attitude. You have to have integrity. Integrity is really important. What do you do when nobody's watching you? Loyalty. You got to be a family person. You got to be healthy. You got to be into health. You got to have teamwork. You got to believe in exercising, self-improvement. And if you have all those things and much more, but those main things, then I'm gonna want you in my circle. So hopefully this helps a lot of people for Memorial Day. Instead of getting hammered, maybe get better today. And if you have any comments, please comment below, hit the like, and let me know, what do you want me to cover next? Love you guys.